Okay, welcome to part two of this topic, the significance of Orakau in 1864. The part one was all about significance to Pākehā, to European. Now we're looking at significance to Māori. And if you get halfway down the website or halfway down the web page on the website, you'll get to the heading Māori losses were significant, dot, dot, dot. And that's where you'll get some information. Now, look, this was a tragedy for Maori, for Te Kingitanga in particular. It was a loss, okay, and a lot of people were killed. Billett argues that there were 80 killed. More recently, O'Malley suggests that as many as 150 were killed. All sources, including sources from the time, which we'll look at shortly, also recount the killing of non-combatants or women. Women were killed, okay, and it's worth noting that they were killed after the breakout, okay, so after the main part of the battle, and you need to describe the significance of these losses to the wider Māori community. Whether it be 80 or 150. If we go with 150, if you choose to go with 100 up to 150, that's for every person who was killed, that might affect 10 immediate members of their whānau, of their family. So that's easily 1,500 people who have been affected in the first instance, and they'll be mourning their loss. It's quite tragic. In many cases, men were killed. In most cases, men were killed, and these were men who, when they weren't fighting, were playing significant roles in their communities in terms of getting food and maintaining a subsistence, basically. Take them away, it puts pressure on the community. So it was significant for Māori because of the losses. It was also significant because of the brutality, and as I mentioned earlier, women were killed. There were also wounded, killed after the battle. They were bayoneted. That means they were stabbed with a bayonet attached to the end of the gun. And evidence for that can be seen in the newspaper clip, which I've included in the on the web page, and that's from the 13th of April, Hawke's Bay Herald, and it describes Gilbert Mayor's action saving a wounded woman from being bayoneted. You want to quote that. You want to say that the media at the time reported the killing of women after the battle and even wounded, and you can take a quote from that extract. Okay, that's you using a primary source to back up the brutality of the battle of Orakau. It was also significant. So Orakau was also significant in that it shows that they were still prepared to fight. It shows that Te Kingitanga was still prepared to fight, and they made a stand at Orakau. Okay, they were fighting to stop. So it's significant for Māori, significant for Te Kingitanga, in that they were still prepared to fight to try and stop the march of the British further south into Māori land. It was a commitment to continuing to fighting was actually a part of why the British invasion stopped at the Okati, stopped at that line of the Pūnui River. Okay, and it's significant. The significance of Orakau can also be seen in terms of the loss of the Upper Waikato. So it was the last battle. It was the battle that Māori fought and lost in trying to prevent. It wasn't fought to try and take back the Upper Waikato lands; that had already been lost. Okay, but it was fought to stop. It was a stand to try and stop the British advance and show that Māori were committed to continuing the fight. And I think that's a significant aspect of Orakau for Māori at the time. Right, shorter shoot, shorter tutorial. Okay. So, what you want to do is, in summary, and you can look at this on the template that I've given you. The losses to Māori were significant because of the loss of lives, the control of territory they'd lost. It marked the final loss of the Upper Waikato, but significantly it also showed that they were prepared to continue fighting, and the fact that Wiremu Tamihana had fortified in Maunga Tautari, and and Rewe got away, and they were making preparations to fight if the British crossed the Punari River, crossed the Okati. They weren't going to give up. It wasn't the end of their resistance, and that's a significant point. Actually, there could be some further research. You could say, I strongly recommend that. Why were the non-combatants killed? Why were the wounded killed? Why were women being killed? I mean, the battle was over. What might that suggest about the attitude of the British soldiers towards the Māori? Okay, and I don't think we don't have the answers here, but it could be something you may suggest is worthy of further research. Quite a good point, and that's significant in itself. Okay, right, end of the tutorial. Talk again soon.